What's going on, everybody? Happy Saturday. Kimberly, Robert, what's going on? So we're live on Facebook and YouTube. So if one is easier than the other, feel free to join us on either spot. Also, if you are not on Facebook, go like us on Facebook. And if you're on Facebook, make sure you go like us on YouTube. You know, get a little double whammy action there. What's going on, Bonnie? Happy Saturday to you. Giving everybody just a few minutes to join us here. Hope you guys are all having a really good weekend so far. Who's ready for Christmas? I know I am. I know I am. Cannot wait. Hey, Mike, what's going on, my man? Share on a page. I manage. I'm still sharing this video a couple different places. Facebook is just such a pain in the ass to get it everywhere. Won't let me post to my own page. My privacy settings are messed up. What's going on, Kevin? So we got everybody joining us. So obviously the holidays are upon us. Everybody's getting ready. Hopefully you guys are all prepared. We went out last night just for, where'd we go? We went somewhere for, we went to Best Buy. Had to get a new vlogging camera so I can get back to doing some video for you guys. I got rid of the old camera, the big Canon that I had. The DSLR was just too much for me. It was too much of a pain in the ass. What's up, Juan? What's going on, my man? We got some clients in the room. It's always nice to see clients. It's always nice. It's nice to see you all, especially nice to see some new faces. So today, guys, we're going to talk about a couple of interesting things. First off, as you see the title, prison preparation, you know, we offer the best services in the industry. Hands down, Federal Prison Time Consulting, LLC, which is RDAP Dan, same thing. By far, we offer the best services at the best price. And this is not a business where the more you pay, the better your services are. We by far charge below the average person, and we offer way more services for what you're getting. We're going to talk about that a little bit. We got Big Boy Firm from Virginia. I commented on one of your videos. I just came home federal prison. Hey, what's up, my man? I remember talking to you. We had a couple of messages going back and forth. Welcome home. We got an RDAP graduate in the house, guys. Everybody say hi to Big Boy. He's over on the YouTube side. Jenny just stopped in to say hi to your dad and your day better half. Merry Christmas to you. Have a great weekend. Thank you very much. Does anyone know if you get good time on a short sentence? 6 months. You do not get good time if you serve less than a year, Scott, but you can still get halfway house. So you can still get some time off. So we're going to talk about a couple things here before we get into these. Obviously, a lot of you know the services. Most of you already know we're probably the most reputable, see what you get type of prison consultant out there. So we're going to talk about that, but we don't need to brag too much about that. We've already made our stake in the industry. But what we are going to talk about, for those of you that want to become part of the RDAP Dan community is method, people helping people, we are developing some very unique ways for you guys to get in on this ground floor type of opportunity. So first, we've actually got some career opportunities for those of you that are interested in maybe getting into prison consulting, maybe not, who knows. So if you are looking at possibly starting your own prison consulting business, we are now going to be able to promote. We are going to be able to train. We are going to be able to certify you as a prison consulting. And when I say certify, that just means we're going to certify you to do it our way, which we feel our way is by far the best way. And we think that because we know what our intentions were when we got into this. And when I say we, me, when I got into this by myself a couple of years ago, my intentions were not to make money off of prison consulting. My intentions were to give back from what I've learned through my own journey and be able to help others that are going through the same journey without the fear of having to spend, you know, $10,000, $20,000 in the process. And some of us just don't have that money to hire a prison consultant. So if you're getting ready to go through that journey, if you've gone through the journey, if you want to be able to give back and you are considering becoming a prison consultant and you just do not know where to start, we have a full turnkey process for you where we can take care of everything on the back end, giving you the RDAP Dan seal of branding you, letting you know that anybody you're going to be marketing to, they're going to know that RDAP Dan is 100% behind you, and we are making sure that you will be successful as long as you're ready to put in the time and the effort. Now, maybe you do not want to be a prison consultant. Maybe you have your own services that you're offering out there, and you feel that somebody either going into prison, somebody that's in prison, somebody getting out of prison, family members, anybody in that circle or realm of the prison world, whether you're going in, getting out, a family member, any ties to it at all. Maybe you have a service that would benefit them. Maybe you have a postcard service. Maybe you have a Facebook service where you're helping people create Facebook pages while they're in prison in order to keep in contact with their friends and family. There's so many different inmate related services, and we obviously don't do any of those. If you have a service that isn't something that we're already offering, we do have an affiliate option where you can become an affiliate, meaning you can promote your services through us. Or maybe you want to offer prison consulting along with some of the services you already are offering, but you don't want to do it as a business. You just want to refer them to maybe RDAP Dan in federal prison time. We have the ability of giving transparency, so you have your own link, your own URL. You can see as these people are coming in. This way you know who's coming to us in order for you to benefit from whoever decides to take us up on our services. So there's all kinds of options for you guys to get involved and be able to give back, be a part of this community's method, people helping people. There's just so many different things that we have the ability to do now that we did not have a couple of months ago. We're going to be on some very large prison consulting channels. Some very large prison content related channels. I had a great conversation. Many of you know Big Herc over at Prison Talk, Fresh Out series. I had a great conversation with him last night. We might be doing some stuff in the future, helping each other out to expand the reach for people that need that help. I was trying to do this with After Prison Show with Joe, but he's just not seeing the benefit. I just don't think his true intent is to help people. I'm sure he doesn't mind helping people indirectly, but we couldn't see eye to eye. And for me, anybody that we're going to work with, people that we're already working with, people that are interested in working with us, everybody's goals got to be the same. I understand everybody ultimately wants to be able to make money, and I have nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with somebody wanting to be able to expand their career. However, it can't be at the expense of not providing a valuable service. It can't just be about how much money can we make. There has to be ground roots into helping people first. And if making money through doing it for the right reason, if that opportunity presents itself, then fine, so be it. So it's a very fine line there on what needs to happen. Just couldn't make that connect with Joe at After Prison Show. I wish I could have, because he's got a great reach. I just don't see him having the right motivation for what I'm interested in. For what he's doing, it's fine, but this is my baby, and I treat my baby with kindness and love. So some of the things that we offer, and I don't think all prison consultants, I feel like we have a very unique situation here for the services that we offer. First off, one of the biggest services we offer is going to be coaching. And no matter what service you decide to get from us, coaching is going to be included. So no one is just going to hire us for coaching. But what most people don't realize is when they're hiring us for any one of our other services, what they end up realizing the majority of their benefit comes from is the actual life coaching aspect of it. So we're going to talk a little bit about that. So the coaching, what do you get when you hire Federal Prison Time with RDAP Dan? I had to make some notes so I can remember everything. First off, initially, depending on where you're at in your case, we're going to help you build a strong mentor network. We're going to come up with a plan of action that's going to include community service. And now when I say community service, it's more of volunteer work. Don't get community service twisted. I just had a talk with a client, it's either yesterday or the day before. And one of the questions he had was, hey, I'm getting ready to go do community service. I'm going to go work at a gym for free, stacking weights. How do you think that's going to look? That's what he asked me. And I said, honestly, that's probably a waste of time. The whole point of doing community service and volunteer work is so later on, when you're potentially standing in front of a federal judge trying to explain what you've done for your community, how you've given back. If I asked you the question, do you think the judge is going to care that you worked in a gym and you mopped the floor and stacked weights? No. Do you think he's going to care that you stack chairs somewhere? Do you think he's going to care, you know, doing things in like a soup kitchen at a church? Yes, is going to carry a little bit more because the mindset there is you're helping people who are in need. But what we've seen have the most impact, and take notes on this, if you're thinking about doing community service or volunteer work, what we've seen have the most impact is when it's you showing you're vulnerable and practicing humility, meaning talking about your crime and how what your choices or where it's leading you, potentially going to prison, how if you're explaining that to the right audience can have an impact. Schools, colleges, church groups, but not just going to the church to clean up, going to the church to speak and letting them know, saying, hey, my intent was never to go to prison. My intent wasn't to grow up and start defrauding people or do the white collar crimes or nonviolent drug offenses that I was involved in. My intent was to achieve and excel through life, and somewhere along the way I started making poor choices and started justifying these poor choices, saying, well, I need to do this to help my family. I'm just going to do this to make a little bit of money, then I'm going to quit and get out and go do this. I'm only going to cheat on my taxes this one time. I didn't really know what I was doing was illegal at the time. You know, a naive excuse is not, being naive to a situation is not an excuse not to go to prison, right? So once we've owned this and we understand this, we can now go speak to children. And by children, I don't necessarily mean elementary school, maybe middle school, definitely high school, definitely colleges, because it's about ethics. It's explaining to people that everyday, regular, good people can make some wrong turns that can ultimately lead down a path where you might end up going to prison. Now, when you start doing this, when you start going to schools, you start going to networking groups, you start going to your local city council meetings, and you start talking about how you got wrapped up into the system. Explaining the situation, how it could really happen to anybody that's not paying attention. What's going to happen is, A, you're getting it off of your chest, you're owning it, you're making it real, you're no longer hiding from it, and B, you don't know who's going to hear your story, and A, maybe they can relate to it, maybe they've got somebody that's gone through it, and they wish they had heard this story, or you're talking to somebody that's getting ready to go down that same path that you went down, that it's deterring them from making those same mistakes. And what we've seen happen is these schools, the churches, these groups come forward and end up writing letters saying, hey, we've had several students come forward saying how your speaking engagement has really impacted their life because they see things differently. They don't see things as so black and white that only bad people go to prison. And what this shows to a judge later on is that by you doing that, you do not know how many feelers you might have put out, how many seeds you may have planted, where your story may prevent several people from possibly going into the prison system or into the federal system, period, whether it be probation. It could have that impact. That's part of what we're going to help you design. We also have the preparation, okay? The preparation portion of prison consulting, on what we really focus on is if you come to us early enough, we make sure that you have the ability to understand on what needs to go into your personal narrative, your character reference letters. We see letters every day. And usually what we see is, well, I've got 15, 20 letters, 30 letters. I've got all my letters ready. Okay, just because you have a bunch of letters does not mean you've accomplished a goal. If your letters all read like what the typical letter reads, they are not going to achieve the ultimate purpose and the ultimate goal that these letters are intended for. These letters need to be designed and crafted in a way that is going to possibly invoke a response from the federal judge, from the probation officer that's conducting your pre-sentence report, to the point where he's seeing something that he's not used to seeing that is making him challenge his thoughts from wanting just to possibly sentence you to the guideline range. What we want to do is either get you below guidelines or probation, if possible, if you do not have a minimum mandatory. These are what the letters are designed to potentially do. And if you guys have been watching this channel long enough, you know that it has the ability to do that. We've seen several people now receive probation. It's not because of luck. It's not because of luck the majority of the time that somebody's going to receive probation. It's because of hard work and dedication, holding your attorney accountable. That's one of the other major components by hiring the right type of prison consultant, we can help you generate questions and knowledge based on experience on what you should be asking your attorney, what you should be questioning, making sure that they are being held accountable to do their job to the fullest. Because if you don't know what questions to ask, how do you know if your attorney is really performing at his capacity? Because a lot of attorneys have a lot of clients on their caseload and they tend to get a little bogged down. So sometimes they may also need a little push. Also, preparing you for your PSR, your pre-sentence report, also means preparing you potentially for RDAP if that's going to be something that's in your future. If you're going to be qualifying for RDAP or thinking you qualify for RDAP, there needs to be structure in your pre-sentence report that needs to spell out that you need the program. Now, let's say that you've already done your pre-sentence report and you're finding these videos or you're finding this information after the fact, and you do not have the narrative or the substance in your pre-sentence report that would typically assist you into getting into the program. Maybe your substance abuse area reads, client stated he has no issue with substance abuse. Now, is that true or is that false? If that's true, then leave it alone. But if it's false, in a lot of cases, what we see, people are not completely forthcoming during that interview with U.S. probation during the pre-sentence report investigation because they feel if they're honest about their substance abuse, whether it be drinking, marijuana, prescription pills, any mind-altering drug that could change your mood based on those drugs could be something that could have helped you get into the program. But because you were afraid to be honest, thinking it was going to hurt you, and your attorney did not give you this information up front, these are things that could ultimately affect your opportunity to get into the residential drug addiction program. So also part of our services that we can offer you is a chemical dependency professional, a psychotherapist who has years and years of experience that understands that a lot of clients go through this where they were not forthcoming at the moment where it needed to be. And now they're finding out that because they weren't forthcoming, they may have just shot themselves in the foot, disqualifying them from the residential drug addiction program. So by having a chemical dependency professional on the team, he is able to come in, diagnose, evaluate, and determine whether or not you actually do have or had a substance abuse issue during the time frame in question. It's all based on that time frame in question, and if the substance abuse professional can determine that there was a substance abuse issue during that time frame, this can assist in overturning the BOP's decision in not offering you RDAP with the time off. Everybody wants to get into RDAP in order to get that 6, 9, or 12 months off of their sentence, and because it guarantees X amount of federal halfway house. These are some of the services that we can present to you, walk you through the steps, make it make sense, coach you through the process to make sure that you have the best possible chance at the best possible outcome, served in the best possible location. Prison designation, the calculator. You guys have heard a lot about this. Some other prison consultants offer this calculator. I think White Collar Advice offers this prison designation calculator, same exact one that we offer. We are now going to be giving it away to all of our clients, not just our clients. Also, if you're just out there and you need some assistance and you want to know what different prisons are available to you, you want to know how far away they are based on your zip code, but you don't really know how to go about searching this, we are going to give you the full version of the calculator absolutely free. And the only catch is you have to subscribe so we can email you once in a blue moon, and we need some personal information from you. That's all. You're not required to be a client. Obviously, if you are a client, you will also receive the calculator automatically. But this is a tool. This tool can be used in conjunction with qualifying for RDAP. What do I mean by that? So let's say you're waiting to get sentenced and you're looking at a sentence of 24 to 37 months. 24 months being the minimum time required to get into RDAP. 37 months being the minimum amount of time you need in order to receive the full 12 months off. So let's say the judge sentences you to 37 months. You're like, great, I got a 37-month sentence. That's the minimum I need to qualify for the residential drug addiction program. What you may not know is you have to enter into the program with 37 months. So you get sentenced to 37 months. You find out your self-surrender date is whatever, 2 months away. Great, you got 2 months to get all your affairs in order, or 30 days to get all your affairs in order, whatever it may be. Now, a couple of weeks later, you don't find out at the moment of sentencing, but a couple of weeks later, you find out where you're going to be designated to. You find out what federal prison you're going to. Hopefully that federal prison has the residential drug addiction program. Usually if you were completely qualified in addition to this point, more than likely you will be sent to a prison that offers the program. So let's say you're sent to a prison, or you're designated to a prison that has the program, and you got to surrender 3 weeks from now, from the time that you find out what prison you're going to. So now you take this prison calculator, or you call the prison, we call the prison for you. You find out when the next RDAP class is starting in that prison. Let's say you're going to surrender in 20 days, but the next class starts in 15 days. So you're missing the next class by 5 days. And then the class after that may not start for 90 days, and you were sentenced to 37 months. So now you're going to get to prison. You're going to have to wait 90 days to potentially get in the next program, the next RDAP class, and now you've missed that window of opportunity to get the full 12 months off because of your surrender date didn't coincide with the next class starts. So what we're able to do for you is we can find out ahead of time what prison you're going to. Once we find out what prison you're going to, find out when that RDAP class starts, then you can motion to have your attorney ask the judge to change your surrender date to either sooner or a little bit further out to give you time to get to the prison, get evaluated, get into the program so you can benefit the max amount of time off. These are some of the bells and whistles that you guys don't really understand. There's so many different moving parts that if you're not paying attention to this, these are issues that you don't think ahead of that could really cause you some major, major, major headaches in how much time you might be able to get off or qualifying for the program at all. Second Chance Act, qualifying for additional halfway house. You know, what goes into that? How are those decisions made? A lot of it has to do with the prison itself. A lot of it has to do with your case manager putting you in for it. But it also has to do with what you're doing within the prison, what programs you're taking, what certifications or diplomas, so to speak, or anything that you've done showing achievement, mentoring, getting mentored, showing a really good track record in prison, what you're doing with your free time, what classes you're deciding to take, which classes can incentivize, and which classes can make recommendations to the staff at the BOP to want to give you the additional halfway house time, writing motions to the judge, asking the judge to recommend additional halfway house time. Now, recommendations are just recommendations. Just because you got a recommendation does not necessarily mean you're going to get into something, right? We know that. But we know that a recommendation does carry some weight. We know that you doing the right thing does carry some weight. We know you going above and beyond can help make the influence on that decision. So what it all comes down to is what you're doing to influence the outcome. You don't have complete control over the outcome, but you do have control with what you do on your day-to-day. We offer a full-service prison consulting from A to Z. There are some things that are not included in the automatic. Like if you hired us, some of the things, depending on what we need to know from you, aren't necessarily going. Like we also, online reputation management. Huge. Huge. If some of you have your name getting dragged through the mud, dragged through the media, social media, public, whatever it may be, you want to do your best to restore your name so when you're released from prison, when somebody goes to Google you, whether it be friends, family, children, the first thing they're going to see is not necessarily going to be what you went to prison for or what you got indicted for. You want to separate that from your name as much as possible. What you may not know is that is not a fast process. If you decide to get out of prison, start doing it then, it could take a year, 2 years to get the full benefit of online reputation management, not to mention the amount of money that the average online reputation management company costs. We have teamed up and collaborated with an amazing online reputation management team that I feel is capable of doing top-notch service at the best, absolute best price in the industry for our clients based on what we're doing together and based on the purpose of doing this. Best time to start online reputation management is before you go to prison. So the process is happening while you're in prison. So you're getting credit for all of that time that you're in prison. Your name is being restored. So when you get out, chances are your name will be at 90% capacity, better than it was prior to going. If you don't need online reputation management, then it's not a service that we're going to offer you. But online reputation management, the chemical dependency professional, those are some additional services that aren't necessarily always going to be included with the price, unless it's something talked about upfront and we all decide that that's what you need initially, then we can package it into a deal. Online reputation management depends on what type of work is involved. So the quote is completely free for whatever you might need on that. Some people it could be next to nothing. Some people it could be quite expensive. It just depends. But I can promise you, whatever price we quote you is going to be far below any other price. And that's included in the prison consulting. Our prison consulting, dependency, our chemical dependency professional, and online reputation management program, usually when those are all packaged together, is still less than what a lot of you are going to end up paying to a prison consulting for just some very, very run-of-the-mill basic services. The whole point of what we're doing is to make sure that what you're getting is everything that you are going to need for your unique situation. We know what your concerns are. We know what your needs are because we've gone through this. I've gone through this. I know what I needed and I know what was lacking when I was going through it. So I really feel like we finally got the team in place that can perform all of these services seemingly behind the scenes, making sure that you can focus on one thing, and it's doing your time, maintaining your relationship with your family, taking programs in prison, not worrying about are you being taken care of? Not worrying about is your prison consultant have your best interest. We want you to blog. We want you to write about your experience. We want to share your experience with other people. So when somebody else finds out what prison they're going to, if that's a prison you're already at, hopefully you've written so many messages home that we are able to post on the blog about what goes on in the prison, the pros, the cons, the benefits, the classes that are available, what the food's like, just you name it. We want that information on the blog so the next person that's going to that same prison can lower their anxiety and lower their fear by knowing what that prison is going to be like. Best way to share that information is from the inside. And we're not asking you to give an escape route like, hey, the tunnel's underneath, nothing like that. We want to give positive information. We all know prison sucks. We could all talk about the negativity side of prison all day long. But if we focus on what the benefits are, what you're learning from it, what your experience you're taking from this, how it's affecting you, and what you're able to do to maintain your relationships, that's really ultimately what other people have fear of, and they just don't understand it. I was talking to a lady today on the phone. She's terrified. She's terrified of where she might be going. It looks like she might have a sex offense crime. And she thought she might be going to Alderson prison camp. And as many of you know that have been watching, if you have a sex offender crime, you can't go to a camp. So now we have to determine what prison she might go to. What's her security level going to be like? What can she do to possibly reduce her sentence? How is she holding her attorney accountable? She's in fear right now. She's crying every day. She's worrying about leaving her kids after Christmas. And these are the consequences that we put ourselves in by making some of the decisions. We can't blame anybody else. Unless you're 100% a victim and you're an scapegoat and you were really thrown under the bus and you honestly didn't do anything wrong, which doesn't happen most of the time. Most of us had some involvement into what's going on. These are what we can do to combat potentially what's going to happen. And I'm going to be having a talk with her hopefully today, trying to lower some of her anxiety, but at the same time, giving her a realization of what she needs to be focusing on. Being negative, dwelling, crying about it, that's not going to get you through this. No one's going to have sympathy for you. I'm not going to have sympathy for you. The judge is not going to have sympathy for you. But what we can have is respect. You can earn respect from myself. You can earn respect from the judge. You can hold your attorney more accountable than you're doing so right now with wisdom. The question is always going to come down to is what are you willing to make this happen? Do you see the value in what we can offer you? If you don't see the value, there's not going to be a match because the value is going to equal some kind of a dollar amount on what it's going to cost for you to get involved in this. That's going to have to be up to you on what you decide is worth it or what's not worth it. But prison time is prison time. I don't care if you're going to a camp, a low, a medium, or pen. Time away from family is time away from family. Yes, you can make the best of an experience, but you still don't want to go. Yes, I think about it, and there's plenty of days that I miss, and I wish that that some of these days I could get back, and some of these people that I met in prison, I wish I still had those type of relationships, but I don't ever want to go back. And by me sharing this information with you, it's really allowing us to offer and spread this out to so many different people. And this channel has done such a good job at growing. I just signed an agreement yesterday for a production company that wants to create a show out of what we're doing and sell it to a major network. These are some of the benefits that are now coming back to me for doing everything that I've been doing for the right reason, which is caring about everybody that I know that is going through this, caring about people that I don't know. I see messages, I get messages all of the time from people that I have no idea who they are, but I know that this channel is touching them because I can see their sincerity in what they're saying to me. There's such a connection between so many of us, such a bond that you guys are able to connect, that a lot of you feel like, hey, I really know you. I really know Dan. And you do, because the person that I'm being here is really the person I am. This is as transparent as I get. I may not walk around with a Christmas hat everywhere I go, but the shirts I wear, the things that I talk about, the demeanor I carry, my attitude, my love for RDAP, my love for wanting to help people, my love for the knowing that this hobby has turned into a career. I love the fact that I have the ability to make money, to grow a team, to grow a staff, all based on the premises of doing it for the right reason, which is people helping people, community as method. And you guys have heard me say it before, if we do these things for the right reason, it does come back tenfold, guys. Pass it along, keep it going, because doing the right thing today is going to reap rewards. That's karma. That really is. When people say they don't believe in karma, maybe don't believe it is this mystery. What it is if you're always doing things for the right reason, eventually people are going to see that. The right person is going to see that, and you will be rewarded at some point for doing the right thing. Doesn't just mean because it's good energy that's out there. It means that you're actively doing action-based positivity that is going to be seen by people. And once people really see it's who you are, it's your personality, it's your everyday, people are going to gravitate towards you, and they're going to feed off of that, and you don't know how it's going to benefit you. Don't listen to negativity. Don't fall victim to your circumstance. Don't get all sad and start crying because you're going to be taken away from your kids. These actions and choices that we made in the past have consequences, and we got to pay those consequences back. But there will be life, guys. Most of you are not going to prison for the rest of your life. So I encourage you, if you're out there right now watching this channel, whether you need prison consulting for yourself, if you just need some quick phone calls, if you need the prison calculator, if you want to start your own prison consulting business, if you want to become an affiliate, if you have services that you feel like would really benefit people that might be going into the system or getting out of the system, or services that would really benefit families of people that are in prison, guys, reach out to me. My information is on this screen for that reason. We have an audience. We have an avenue to share that information with so many people that come to our YouTube channel for support. So with all of your help and what we continue to do every single day, we are finally making a change. We are making a difference, and the rest of the community is feeling it, because we are seeing more and more people funnel into our direction that without this would have gone into other directions of other prison consultants that might not have your actual best interest at mind. So we are going to start a massive growth spurt here, guys, and this is an opportunity for you all to get involved one way or another. I encourage you, if you have any ideas, any thoughts, any suggestions, any plans that you think we might be able to implement for you, reach out to us, rdapdan at rdapdan@gmail.com. The new site is literally days away from launching. There's all kinds of fun stuff that you guys are going to be able to take advantage of on the new site, and I can't wait for you guys to see it. So keep checking back to rdapdan.com. Keep checking out the website. You'll know when the new site's up, because it's going to be night and day from what we got up right now. Hope you guys have a great holiday. Enjoy your Christmas. I may put up a little surprise video on Christmas. I don't know. I don't have major plans for Christmas. Shelly and I are going to go to breakfast with her brother. We're going to go maybe catch a movie and kind of play it here from there. We are going to Florida. If any of you are in the Florida area and you would like to maybe meet up for lunch, or if you've been watching my channel, or if you're even a client or somebody that's benefited from this, I know a lot of you are in Florida. I'm going to be in the South Florida area. I'm also going to be taking a ride to Coleman, the prison that I was at, with two intentions. One, just to go back through that journey of driving there with me and Shelly, stopping off at the place that we stopped off the day I told you when we dropped Shelly off at prison. We went to a little bar first because she was terrified to go into prison, so she needed to have a couple of drinks. We're actually going to go back, revisit that. It's going to be very, 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 very touching situation for us because it's going to be our first time back there. We're going to vlog the whole thing with this nifty little camera that we just bought. Our other intent is to actually get the prison to allow me to come back in and talk. I would love to go talk to some of the RDAP classes there, being that's where I did my RDAP under Dr. Smith. And hopefully my DTS, my drug treatment specialist, is still there, Mrs. Neesmith. I would love to go back and journalize what this experience has had on me and be able to share that with people that are sitting in prison right now thinking this is all bullshit. And is any of this really going to matter when I get out of prison? It's only going to matter if you want it to. And I'm living proof that RDAP and all of the things that come along with it with the right attitude can change your life for the positive, but it all starts up here. Anyway, guys, that's all I got for you today. Enjoy your Saturday. Go out, talk to people, share some love, do something nice for somebody. If you got a couple extra bucks in your pocket, go buy some warm blankets, go buy some chicken, some turkey, some ham, whatever you can, some pre-made meals, and go walk around and look for these people that are starving on the side of the street and just try to lose it for a minute and realize that, yeah, they probably could have made better choices and they might have put themselves in that situation, but it doesn't mean that somebody might not appreciate a kind gesture from a complete stranger that could make so much difference in what they decide to do next with their day. Somebody might be thinking about going out and robbing somebody right now and thinking about going out and stealing, and we all know that actions have consequences, and A, they might get in trouble, go to jail. That might be the least of their worries. B, they might go into the wrong house and get shot. You bringing them a warm meal or a warm blanket might stop them from possibly causing harm or danger to somebody else, and you might set a ripple that community is method mentality has now put them into a direction that may affect so many different people from your one kind gesture. So get out of your fucking bubble for the weekend and enjoy this Christmas spirit, guys. Love every single one of you. Have an amazing holiday. I will try to do my best to get with you guys on Monday and put a little video out for you guys and just say hi. If not, I will see you guys on Wednesday. I love every single one of you. People helping people. Community is method. Please, if you have not done so, go share. Go like my videos, subscribe, share these videos, follow us on Facebook, share these videos, get these videos out there. It's the only way this community is going to keep growing is with awesome viewers like you. Awesome, Bonnie. Helped a homeless lady set up a business. There you go. That one kind gesture could cause a catastrophic event that changes people's lives forever, and you may never know. Do it for the right reason, not for the notoriety. All right, guys. Peace. Love everyone.